Insania, how's it going?
I'm doing great, man. It's always fun to watch these two teams. I don't know if I've actually gotten the chance to cast them before, on Huntcast, but it's gonna be really, really exciting. I think Stay Green have not been really like doing that well in scrims, and they've been looking a little bit shaky. They've been trying a lot of new stuff out though, in their defense. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, obviously that's the big thing to really point out. I mean, when it comes to preparing for such a major event as the World Hunt Finals, of course, coming up, as I even played the hype video just a second ago there for the extra hype. But again, coming up in about a couple of weeks, really, just over 2 weeks here, 3 weeks even at the most. They're really getting prepared for that big prize pool event. So, yes, again, this technically is a tournament here and whatnot, but ultimately both these teams are using this really as the most as preparation. So, wouldn't be surprised, as you put it, maybe see some different things coming out here and there. We'll see what they bring to the table. But no doubt they're going to be giving it their best shot in the end as far as just the actual play goes and expecting some great matches. So we're moving along here, and already something interesting to talk about once again. Look at the bands there. Sir Bensington, Puppet Master, Pestilence, Torturer. A couple of things to note. The big one for me being no junglers banned whatsoever in the initial bans, and Sir Bensington, of course, is just, again, another kind of this hero that all of a sudden is like, we got to ban Sir Bensington.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I mean, the hero is ridiculously powerful in the Suicide Lane. The amount of damage that he outputs, his laning presence, overall, just the power level of that hero is extremely high. And he just fits so well. He has a lot of presence in the early game. And that's why he's left. I think that's why he's banned. I'm not surprised at all. BMG ran it against us once, and I haven't seen anybody else pick it up afterwards. But he's such an extremely powerful hero, and it just shows Swindle, he knows what he's doing. He knows that a hero can just take over a game on his own pretty much and win it for BMG. So I like that ban. And as for the junglers, these both teams prefer to run jungle heroes. They like jungle lineups better, and they're more comfortable when the game is played like that. So not too big of a surprise. However, Swinamels decided to pick Parasite first, and it showed that he had a plan. He wanted to go for that Tundra later on in the draft, but that's quite a big sacrifice, giving away Ophelia and Rhapsody to BMG. It's a really strong combination. It's really hard to deal with as well.
Yeah. So again, we'll see what how they're able to to go up against that. Yeah, the Tundra Parasite, obviously X Denial, not known as Sync Esports, of course. Definitely known for running that, especially. And now that I name drop them real quickly, of course.
Yeah.
Sync Esports. Obviously, there was a little bit of drama today, so that we have you guys on a cast. In case you haven't seen it yet, there was a post made by Zlap today. Apparently, ProBusk no longer a part of Sync Esports. Not exactly sure on the details, but simply put, I think he was kicked from the team according to the post. I don't know exactly, but that's interesting to say the least, because here we are a couple of weeks before the biggest event Han has ever seen, and that happened. So it's obviously interesting for several cases, including what's going to happen now moving forward with the team and everything else, so and going into Thailand. So obviously, as these days move along here, I'm sure we'll get updates on that, but again, just a quick notice on that. That did happen, so.
I tried to talk to a couple other players and try to figure out what was going on, and it turns out he was kicked. There were some personal issues between some other players. And as for what the future holds, they're trying out Brodex right now, I do believe.
Yeah.
So that's the first choice, I think.
Okay.
But we'll see. Yeah.
There you go. But again, so that's just a side note, but obviously we got our focus here now on this big matchup. So here we are, the second tier of picks now coming along here. Again, real quick, kind of a recap. Hag, Parasite, Tundra for State Green. Pharaoh, Rhapsody, Ophelia for BMG. The bands Bubbles, Empath, Devour, Drunken Master, Gauntlet, and Pebbles coming out. Corrupted Disciple picked up into Slither here for BMG. So that's kind of all caught up now. What is your take so far, Insania?
Well, we got SG who are kind of running the gank heavy lineup with a lot of split push, and like they want to avoid straight up 5v5 team fights for as long as possible. Whereas you got BMG who's running the straight up hard push lineup, which I think is probably the best way to deal with a Parasite Tundra. You just simply can't allow the game to get dragged out, because over time Parasite and Tundra, they're gonna find kills. With the bird, the control that it gives you, it doesn't matter how good of a player you are. Eventually, somebody will get picked off. Somebody is going to die. So just running the hard push, sticking together as 5, forcing those 5v5 fights, I think is a great strategy when you're facing Tundra and Parasite. So I like what BMG is going for here.
We see Glacius coming out there with the final pick for State Green. So, yeah, back to BMG. Good team fight makeup here. Prisoner being right click. I mean, we've been seeing that. We saw Super KG play Magnus against Recent Gaming on Tuesday, both of those games. So it seems like either just trying him out to kind of fit in the lineup and, obviously brings a lot to the team fight potential as well. But Prisoner being right clicked, what would you think here makes the most sense?
They need a tanky presence to sit up front. Kind of going for this high ground push later on in the game. They're going to need some way to start the fight, some way to force it, make it happen. They're going to have to get the advantage to go get the conquer kills and win those early team fights. I think Prisoner isn't too bad of a choice. But I'm sure you already noted they don't really have a lot of carry potential on their team if they do choose to go for it. So that's probably what they're thinking of right now if they want to go for something more carry heavy. And there we go. They right-click Panda.
Yeah.
And then. But I actually don't mind Prisoner too much. I think he kind of works with their lineup pretty well, and considering that they're facing Wretched Hag, the hero is never a bad option.
Yeah. Well, they're clearly putting some thought here in terms of some options that they perhaps want to go with. So it started out maybe a little tankier as you're kind of putting it, but we've seen Beastwood, Arachna also being thought of apparently. So we'll see what decision they ultimately end up with. But again, I mean, you look at the heroes that they already have as far as who's going to play what? Yeah, Madman, the final pick. So maybe a little bit different ultimately than what you're expecting. But who's going to play what? I mean, what is Super KG going to play here in this?
Probably the Pharaoh.
Yeah?
Probably the Pharaoh. Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably going to be either a dual lane Pharaoh with a somewhat roaming Rhapsody, I assume, rotating between the middle lane and the short lane.
Yeah.
Applying pressure that way. So I'm not really entirely sure on what they're doing. They could set up their lanes pretty much any way they want to.
Yeah.
They don't really have any one of their farmers who really needs the support there. But so Rhapsody's. I mean, ideally you'd probably want Rhapsody at the pull, so you get like a fifth lane situation kind of where they can get farm on everybody. But yeah, it's interesting to see because Stay Green also they pick Glacius, which isn't really a hero that they normally run. I think it's for the counter push mostly, but it might be a long lane dual lane with Limp. Yeah. Exactly. Limp's going middle, so it's probably going to be the tri-lane top.
All right. Yep. They got the Parasite already heading up there. Corrupted following suit. And then, of course, Glacius going to be making his way up there ultimately. So, yeah, the aggressive pseudo tri-lane going to be coming out here from State Green. And, it's always that discussion even of Parasite versus Ophelia. Hanskin, a great Ophelia player. But it is it's kind of an annoying, obviously, situation here. But at the same time, good Ophelias can definitely make do with it. He did go boots first on Parasite. Do you think this is going to cause issues for Hanskin?
Well, yes, and I think it's more so because of the support. Normally when you see two jungle heroes going up against each other, regardless of what jungle heroes it is, it's going to depend on how much support can you get from your support hero. How well can your hero do alone in the lane? And Corrupted Disciple against Slither, it's a fairly even matchup, but Glacius and Parasite together out in the jungle competing for farm against Rhapsody and Ophelia, I think is heavily in favor of the Glacius and the Parasite.
Yeah. All right. So again, we'll see how that affects things, and actually already affecting things as we see here. Yeah, Ophelia looking like she might be interested in going to the bottom jungle. Maybe not. So maybe just a little bit indecisive here of exactly where they want to end up. But she is ultimately going to head back to her own jungle here in the end. You do see the Schiffer going to be here to block this initial spawn at this right hard cam. So.
Maybe it seems like Hanskin's. He's flopping. Okay, yeah. Okay. I mean, it's a really big deal, though. It really does hurt them a lot. Now, Minus is going to be without a camp for the first 30 seconds, which isn't as big of a deal, but they don't have any counterwards up here, so one of the camps is going to be blocked for sure up here to the left for at least a minute or two. Which so Minus not really going to have the best time up here. It looks like he's swapping jungles already. All right, interesting.
Yeah, very quick swap right there. As soon as the initial spawns happen, so as you're pointing out, I mean, definitely several blocks coming out because of the warding and just the heroes standing there and whatnot. But gonna immediately go to his own jungle. So gonna meet.
It's a smart decision.
Yeah,
it definitely is. They forced BMG to block one of their own camps, and now they're rotating a Parasite into their own jungle with boots against an Ophelia with basically no items. And Hanskin right away just rotates back. He knows what's happening. They saw Minus rotate through their own wards, so. But yeah, basically what this entire thing forced is BMG blocking one of their own camps with their own wards. So smart play for Stay Green.
So now that things have kind of calmed down, oh, not really, not that they were crazy by any means, but now that we've started off the laning phase here, really, a minute and a half in, so now we got this top lane matchup here. You know, now Ophelia with going back to her jungle. Sure, she might not have the most camps to work with, but she does have some here. You have a long lane Corrupted Disciple Glacius against the Slither Rhapsody, with Ophelia possibly being a presence here. Granted, they do have a ward aside to definitely see if she is coming, but do you think this could still work out for Stay Green in the end? Are they going to be fine up here?
I think so. It's going to be a matter of lane control. The way the lane is staying right here, right now, this really hurts Stay Green. They need to make something about this. Because if they're sitting this far up, it's going to be really hard for them to fall back in time, even with a ward that Minus placed here to the left, or to the right, sorry. But Hanskin, since he got a little bit slowed down in the start, he had to run around between the jungles. He's probably going to look to farm a little bit more in the start to not fall super far behind as we get further into the game. But yeah, definitely should try and make his presence felt up top.
All right, and then you got your middle matchup again, Tundra versus Pharaoh. Super KG, I guess technically a kind of a hook hero here with the Wrath of the Pharaoh, so you got that working for him.
Yeah.
But no, in this matchup so far, you got 10-1 Pharaoh against a 12-3 Tundra, so it does seem like Limp has the slight advantage here.
Yeah, and this lane is really just going to be two melee heroes farming against each other. Normally when you see a strength versus strength matchup, regardless of lane, it really just comes down to both heroes farming, because neither of them can really kill each other without the other one making a mistake.
Yeah.
Up top, though, Invis rune.
Yeah, you see Rhapsody coming in with the flank right here. Now it's just Slither Rhapsody, granted a good amount of slow and some decent stun potential, but we'll see if, I mean, you can tell they're being very passive about jumping in. Here we go, though. There's a point spray coming out. Staccato's already used. Disco Inferno's put down. Not doing a whole lot, though, as long as Corrupted Disciple is still moving. New coming in from Ophelia. Is it going to be enough for the actual kill? No, it's not. He's going to buy enough time. However, now, actually, Glacius takes a mana burn right there, but he, too, will be fine. So the Ophelia presence just a little bit late right there. And Corrupted Disciple was able to ultimately fall back and be fine. So, yeah, trying to make use of that good old 2-minute Invis rune. Unfortunately, no kill, but still a lot of pressure put out. And
Yeah.
Slither will get back to farming here, so.
This unfortunately works in favor of SG, though, because they lose lane control when they go for this kill, because they're unable to get the kill, and they pull the creeps, and that way lose their lane control. And now Stay Green are going to have a pretty good time up here. The Ophelia can't really gank as easily as she could have before, and they kind of lost that window, so good signs for Stay Green in terms of laning and the laning phase right now, overall.
How is the jungle now going over here? You got Parasite again. He's about just under 200 gold per minute, so. And then you got Ophelia about 170 GPM. So, yeah, neither jungler really having that excelling start here. You know, you're kind of addressing that with the movement and whatnot happening. So, not too surprising here, but as always, keep an eye on that to see how it ultimately picks up and what kind of an impact we see. So, we already saw Ophelia trying to be a presence. What about Parasite here? Do you think Parasite maybe needs to get a little bit aggressive here at this bottom lane, perhaps, or is he fine just farming?
It's hard to say. It's really hard to say. Oh, what is the Legion Courier doing?
Yeah, that was a little bit of micro there, but in the end, he's fine.
Yeah. I mean, it's a hard matchup for the high, to be honest. Oh, Jonas losing his health pot there.
Yep.
That's actually a really big deal. But yeah, no, it's kind of hard for Minus to gank. He needs the dust to really be able to be effective down here, and for as of right now, he just got his Blood Chalice, so all the gold he's really gained so far has gone to just getting him running in the jungle. So as soon as he gets the dust, of course, getting down to the bottom lane, I'd wait probably at level 6 unless he gets a really good creep like a Skeleton King.
Yeah.
But definitely need to wait for that dust, so keep an eye on the inventory there.
Yep. Will do, will do. He is level 4 currently, so he does have a Skeleton King, but yeah, obviously not going to be making a move just yet. Oh yeah, top lane actually. Corrupted Disciple going to be cut off right here from Ophelia. Middle lane, they do get the kill on a Pharaoh, but now Corrupted Disciple, will he fall too? Yes, he will. So Action has separate lanes right there, but it was in favor of Stay Green in terms of the Bloodlust kill first as Super KG falls. But Corrupted Disciple going down at the top side, what do you think is ultimately more impactful there?
Definitely the middle lane. We talked about this, I think it was 2 days ago when we were casting BMG versus Reason, about how important it is to get your initiator running early on in the game. He is really the hero that's going to determine whether your carry will be able to farm later on or not. Farm early game is always great on your carry, but it's really when you get to that mid game and your carries start snowballing, when they have their farming items and they just need space to take off, that's when it's important to have the space. And if you get a blank on your Tundra, you're going to be able to control the map really, really well. So
yeah.
Definitely, I think, in favor of Stay Green. Unfortunately, Z-Freak did get the kill, though, but...
Yeah, in the end, so Z-Freak, you know, getting the Bloodlust kill. He's got his early boots now as a result of that, so...
Yeah.
At least to making some good use right there. But yeah, Pharaoh is level 6 now as well. So, of course, he has his Wrath of the Pharaoh ready to go, and we'll see if Super KG gets a little aggressive as a result of that. Ophelia doing a good job of boxing out the double damage rune up here. Not picking it up, though, just yet. The Shiver is scouting it. Ophelia's heading towards the top lane, though, but she was definitely seen by the Shiver. As, in fact, is still being seen, and I actually think, oh, yeah, Ophelia spotted the Shiver, too. So, no, she can't be too sneaky right here, as this information is already given out. So, but in the meantime, Pharaoh will come up and pick up that double damage ring, but again, he's going to be seen by the Shiver, so no gank attempt at the top lane is going to be successful in the end. So good control coming out here, however, but now in the middle lane, Tundra's going to be caught right here. There's the wall going up. Madman here as well, putting out the damage. Double damage on it. Pharaoh will be enough for the actual kill. Tundra comes in with the avalanche right there. Glacius also following suit. The freeze on the Madman. They're going to go for the turn kill, but at what cost right here? However, the bottom charges come out, and Limp will be fine, but so will BMG as a whole. So neither side losing a hero there in the end, but it was damn close for both heroes, actually, in terms of getting a counter kill. So top tower, though, pushed in.
That was really, really good movement from Z-Freak there, finding himself at the right time, at the right place. And the first blood definitely, him getting the first blood, I said was a little bit unfortunate. Then that was, of course, referring to the Tundra Blink being a little bit delayed, but those boots definitely came into play there, so really, really good from Z-Freak, finding himself where he needs to be.
Yeah. And now you see the top lane. They're still pushing a little bit, but actually one of the Vagabond leaders even being ported back right there because some good damage coming out as far as the hold was concerned. So that push is going to be thwarted off for now. At the top lane, oh, actually middle lane, they're going to try to go right here on a Pharaoh, but nope. Just out of range. Mummy Walls come up, and Parasite could not get a range for that face hug to follow up with the Glacius. So Super KG is going to be fine. In fact, he's heading towards the bottom lane now. Again, he does have the Wrath of the Pharaoh, but it is a Wretched Hag, so not your ideal target in terms of setting up a kill, unless she blinks first for whatever reason. But no, just going to kind of scout things out, even stack the Ancients in the process, and have fun with that. Madman is running in, but she's going to be fine, so.
Yeah, speaking of Madman, he actually went for a little bit of an interesting skill, but he got 1 point into Gash early on, which I don't think that's too bad. He got as much levels as he needs in the stock, and the bonus damage that gives on auto attacks is absolutely crazy now that now that it's changed. You really don't see the impact as much as you did with the old crit, but it's a really, really big deal.
Yeah, that is interesting, definitely, with that Gash. So. We'll see Jonathan Fan again. He does have a lot of experience playing this hero, so safe to say he's at least done some theory crafting, if anything, and comfortable with the idea of building it. But he might be in a little bit of trouble down here himself. Yeah, Parasite does have dust, but I mean, just look at that. Jonas Fan's like, something's up, and immediately falls back in. You know, it's those situations where it's, you know, as a spectator, it's hard for us to really understand that mindset, perhaps, of a player like Jonas Fan right there, where was it maybe because Hag was playing a little bit more aggressive that he's like, oh, something might be up? Well, as I say that, though, hold that thought, because actually the Wild Hunter coming in from Parasite. So, again, he knows something's up, though. It's not going to be successful in the end.
No, I mean, it has to do with the fact that no other heroes except for Hag is showing on the minimap for the Hellborn team.
Okay.
If you look at it through the Hellborn vision, the only thing they could see at the point where Jonas backed off was a Hag sitting at bottom farming. Top lane was empty, middle lane was empty. And it's a little bit of a shame that we can't just switch to like one team's vision.
Yeah.
Because it would tell so much in situations like this. But that's basically what's going on. You got 4 heroes missing on the minimap. You're like, okay, I have no idea where they could be. They got a Tundra, they got a Glacius, they got a Parasite. Any one of those heroes together with a Hag will get me killed.
Yeah.
And he just backs off. So that's how you basically make your decisions. And then it's a question of probability. Is it likely that Tundra is bottom trying to gank me? Well, yeah, it kind of is. A lot of the times it isn't. Like, for a CD to be down there, probably not.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no.
Middle lane.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's a great explanation of it, because again, you saw right there was no vision for the Hellborn team, but it's that lack of vision that they see at the Legion side as you're getting at that's what gives them the information. So, plan is safe, and as we saw there on the minimap and with the situation, he was right to do so. He is back now farming the bottom lane, however, but in comes a TP. Is that the Wretched Hag? Yes, it is, and he immediately starts to fall back again because of the circumstance for the time being. So, middle presence, the Hellborn team, BMG, they were pushing a little bit, but in the end, they decided to halt that push and kind of just regroup for now. But actually, Ophelia, she gets some more minions, and yeah, here she goes. She's got the 3 minions now, a Minotaur, Skeleton King, and a Catman Champion. A nice plethora of minions here under her control. Is going to take out the Courier as well. And at least about the Shiver? No, they can't really see the Shiver right there. So getting some good vision for the Legion team. But this is now going to be a push here from Bad Monkey Gaming. They do not have Madman with them, but at the same time, he's keeping Occupy with Wretched Hag at the bottom lane. So is this going to be a successful push in the end is the question. It looks like it may. Oh, Pharaoh actually went in right there. Catches Tundra. In comes the Poison Burst. On top of the Poison Spray. Tundra throwing out the Avalanche. Trying to recoup right here. Nice protective melody coming up from Rhapsody. Right as a face-up coming in. Tundra's going to end up falling. Corrupt the Disciple. He's going to be caught in as well. He will be taken out. So far, it's a double tap for Hanskin. But a Bat Blast in the background. I think they hit a couple of heroes right there. But Wretchedak's going to get completely turned on. She will fall. Slither is barely still alive, but he is alive enough. He is going to fall back before anything more happens on him. The tower goes down as well. What a fight there for Bad Monkey Gaming.
I mean, it looks really, really pretty from BMG's side, but it really came down to a big mistake there of miscommunication from Stay Green. Swindle Melons was not there when the initiation happened. Normally we see Stay Green instantly there with all of their TPs. Heroes are where they need to be.
Yeah.
And it was just disastrous there. They got picked up one by one. Limp got dove. That's the second that all the TPs needed to come. Limp got his job done. He got his ultimate off on the right target. Nuked as well. Had the bird up. It just, the TP support from the team wasn't there. I don't know if Swindle still had his TP on cooldown from when he TP bottom.
Yeah. What
the problem was, but if they had been there, all five of them, I'm sure they would have been able to take that fight. But now they're in a really, really sticky position. They just lost the team fight 4-0, and they lost one tower, actually, on top of that as well. So it's a really bit of a rough situation. If they lose another fight like that, it can be almost be game when you're going up against a push lineup like this. It's just very, very important that you don't lose the early fights.
Yeah. Wretchedak's actually blinking in pretty aggressive right there, but in the end, just going to simply counter war with the Rev that they had down and fall back from there. But yeah, another thing to note about that fight, again, the protective melody, and I always like to stress this about that ability. It's one of those you don't need it to go the full duration. If it even just cancels the burst damage initially, which it kind of did right there, the face that came out, and it did no damage because of that protective melody. So again, another case of why that hero is just a very, very strong support option here.
Yeah, and I mean, the strength of the hero also, it scales throughout the entire game. In the early game, as you say, it's all about getting that right spell, protecting against the right spell, like the Hag, the Bat Blast. If he's able to cover that damage, get through the Sonar Scream, but just a split second of that ulti, he's done his job. In the later stages of the game also, if you're able to sit in Fog, you can get the full duration and just prevent the damage coming out of Corrupted Disciple with his auto attacks, and it's so impactful. The hero's just so strong at all phases of the game.
Yeah. Pharaoh's kind of just hugging Wretchedak up here at the top lane and chasing her down and trying to get her to blink because, yeah, there we go. Wrath the Throw's going to come out. Swindle Melons was hoping that he was not going to be good enough with that hook, but it's Super KG for Christ's sake, and he will fall right there. So, yeah, Swindle Melons, that was a tough spot to be in because of the patience there by Pharaoh, but that's exactly the opportunity he was waiting for right there.
Yeah, and what Swindle needed to do with it was find a little fog pocket, is what I normally call it, like where you can just go in behind a tree and you're in fog, and then just blink in a direction that Super KJ did not see. He didn't do that there, and therefore Super KJ was able to find the direction and just hook him afterwards.
Yeah. Middle lane, there was a little bit of initiation, but the team support there from Stay Green is more than enough to kind of scare off Bad Monkey Gaming and make them not want to actually put up a fight right there. But yeah, great catch at the top lane and more control coming out. In fact, they're heading over to Kongor, so here we go. BMG, they're going to go for that Kongor attempt. They got Ophelia, they have Pharaoh. I mean, this is a very, very good Kongor killing team with that combination alone. And he's going to drop.
And the Madman on top of that, he just provides so much damage with the Gash against the Kongor. He gets the full stack charge on it. So a lot of damage coming out of him too. Yeah. Easy Kongor for them. But no, we talked about the map control and how important it is early on in the game, and Limp getting that early kill. He finally does have his Blink Dagger now if he does choose to go for it. It's not really ideal against the push lineup because you're not really going to be able to find those pickoffs. They're going to stay together as 5 pretty much for the rest of the game. BMG, that is. Until at least they are so far ahead enough so that Thunder Parasite isn't going to be that dangerous. But he does choose to go for the Blink. This means that they're really, really valuing getting the initiation on the right target.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, overall, map control definitely in favor of BMG, and if it hadn't been for that middle lane team fight, it definitely would not have been the situation where Stay Green is forced to dodge. So you got to take that first fight and you got to execute it well. Small mistake like that can cost you the game.
No doubt, that's definitely all the momentum right here now for BMG. What happened there in the middle lane, and they're going to continue to use that as they push in the bottom lane. And again, in case of Stay Green, they're not comfortable defending it here. They're going to let it go. So when Mel's just kind of push to the top, and in the meantime, I wonder if BMG is going to make some kind of reaction to that. Maybe even the middle lane. As you do see Stay Green kind of pushing that as well. Yeah, Slither's already back. He's the one that got that token of life as we see. And he is already ready to defend. In the meantime, his teammates are still going to push in, though, the bottom lane. So a lot of decision-making going to be coming out here from either side in terms of really how they want to approach the situation. It looks like Stay Green, they're like, well, we got to defend the secondary tower. And they're going to head down there to do so. But Berserk activated by Madman. He's now beating on the tower with his teammates. This is going to be close. Tundra coming in with the Avalanche. Protective Melody, though, coming out, stopping a decent amount of damage right there. Not the most in the world, though. Bat Blast in the background now. As the port back, though, it happened just in time on a Madman right there. Rhapsody, not the same story, but now here comes a turn here for the Helpmore team. Ophelia trying to finish off Tundra. Cannot do so in the end. She will go down. And now Slither kind of charging in. He's going YOLO right here. Poison Burst comes out. He does have that token alive, so I guess it kind of makes sense. Pharaoh's also going to cut off in the background. Catches Pharaoh right there. Down goes Slither, but down goes Parasite. And they're looking for some more. Glacius going to fall. Corrupted Disciple goes down, so the power of Slither, all about it right there. And even Madman comes in at the last second, and they're going to finish off this tower here in the end. So that was a almost looked like a very risky decision there at the end, but hey, it paid off big time.
I mean, that was a great decision by Fuzi. He saw a window to go in, and he went for it. He didn't even doubt himself for a second. And it was a complete right decision right there. You go in, use the token, win that team fight, put them at an even bigger resource advantage. And they already have the map control. And had they lost that fight, had they only let the 3 die that were down there, it would not have been the same situation. Now you got a bunch of kills on Stay Green, a lot of experience going his way and Pharaoh's way, and now they're sitting very, very comfortably in this game.
Yep. That they are. Madman, in fact, yeah, the Energizer on him with Slither having it as well. I mean, some good, couple of good team support items there. Happen to be the same one, but still. Speaking of that team support, obviously Ophelia's bringing plenty with her item build as she tends to do. The Firebrand on Fuzi, yeah, giving him more of that damage threat as well as the eventual Geometer's Bane, I'm sure, to be coming out. So yeah, you look where Stay Green's at again. They've had that Porta Key now on limp here, playing the Tundra for a little bit, but haven't been able to make the most use of that yet. And Corrupted Disciple, don't really expect him to be too much crazy farm here in the near future. And then of course, this Swindle Melons here on Hag. Again, kind of the same story. It's not like she's taken off, but they're going to go out the bottom lane here on a Madman. Can he stalk away in time? No, they do not have dust. Yeah, well, they have to play this good enough without the dust. He's going to hide for now. In comes the Ophelia's touch. He's alive for now, but he's going to be spotted by the Shiver right here. He does have another stalk, though. Will he be able to get away? Oh, man. Jonas a fan juking and jiving, but yeah, they saw him at the last second. And they do pick him off, so close, but not to be there for Jonas. So being his aggressive self there.
No, I mean, he's playing it right. Look at how much resources Stay Green had to put in to get that kill. True. It took them forever, and they were using 3 heroes. But in the end, that's really good for Stay Green. They're playing. That's what they need to do. If BMG stays split, the chances of them coming back are much, much greater than if they stick together and just go for a push. Mm-hmm. But as of right now, I mean, they're farming 4 places at the same time, so even though they get one guy picked off, it's completely fine.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're picking off the Ancients here in the meantime. Yeah, another 1,400 gold saved up, so again, that earlier on Geometer's Bane. Do you like that decision, by the way, going to Firebrand and to eventually Geometer's Bane, is at least what I'm guessing here for Slither?
I think it's fine. To me, that hints that they're going for more of a farm game. They want to secure the later stages of the game. They want to use the resources that they have now to get further ahead, rather than to try and force the issue and break the base. Yeah. So it's kind of more of a safer route, I suppose, than if they would have just tried to go for it. And Ophelia's building Barrier Idol, actually, so okay, they're trying to finish up their carry items. I'm not really sure. It feels like it's a little bit of a mismatch of items. Mm-hmm. If they want to go for the late game, I feel like Ophelia should be building much more towards like maybe a Storm Spirit, a Staff of the Master, considering these team fights are going to be long. There's not a lot of burst damage that's just going to annihilate their team. Yeah. So Staff wouldn't have been a bad option this game. But yeah, no, she's going for the Barrier Idol. I saw her pick up life, too, so.
Oh, they're going to catch Wretched Ag, and they will have enough lockdown to finish her off. She could not blink that whole time. And now here comes the following push. She is not buying back for 40 seconds. She will not be up. This tower's going to fall, and, you know, it's definitely a pick like that, and that could just lead to just disaster here, especially with the position Stay Green was already in.
Yeah. No, I mean, that is really... Swindle Melon is probably the player who buybacks the most early in the game, and he doesn't have one right now, which is really, really going to hurt them. This is definitely going to be Brax, unless Stay Green dares to take a 4 versus 5 team fight.
Yeah, I mean, they got some decent counter push here, so they are going to hold off a little bit. I don't even know if they're going to get the tower at this rate, to be honest. Yeah, they should at least get the tower, but the racks are still honestly a question mark. And in fact, no, the BMG, they're not even going to be able to do enough for the tower. So yeah, I mean, the counter push is clearly there for Stay Green.
Really, really well played from Stay Green there. I mean, Zefrik was able to run up and freeze one of the Minotaurs without getting caught, which is really surprising to me. But I do suppose they did not have the Slither ultimate, so they were a little bit afraid to just force it and go for the tower and get all their heroes on the high ground. So playing it a little bit safe. They're going to steal the Ancients now, but they're continuing to play the resource game. And considering just so far ahead, it's completely fine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, the fact that they're going to just fall back, it's still a triple stack Ancients, I think they're just fine with this, the way this thing is developing. So, and you also look at Super KG here on Pharaoh. I mean, he went the earlier on Glowstone. He has another 2,800 gold nearly saved up, so he could have a very quick Staff of the Master here on Pharaoh. And obviously, that'll put it down to, I believe, 20 seconds as far as that cooldown is concerned, compared to 40 seconds at level 3. So, obviously, a good amount of a cooldown reduction there on the ultimate. Is that the best choice, though, you think?
I actually think it's quite a good choice this game. As I pointed out, the teamfights are going to be pretty long. We got the Slither, who does damage over time. Oh, Hack caught it again.
Oh, no.
They're going to miss.
Big. Okay, yeah. We'll be fine.
Yeah. No, but it's going to be long teamfights. This is not going to be the kind of game where it's just like, boom, and the fight is over. So he's probably going to be able to get that second hook off in the fight, and the stats that Staff of the Master provides for him right now, the HP, the mana, amazing for him to get. So I definitely think it's a good decision here.
All right, so has that here. Again, the Token of Life obviously no longer on Slither, and not exactly sure when that Kongor is going to be up, but I don't think too much longer here. It was a very earlier on Kongor coming out from BMG, so wouldn't be surprised on that. Look at Swinomelons here. So he is in a pushed up position once again, but this time he's got an Invis rune. Kind of scout things out. Look at Stigrin's positioning too in terms of they've only had the one tower kill still, and that's at the top lane. That's never a good spot.
That's really, really well played on BMG's end. We saw them in the early game, how they were moving around the map, how they were keeping 3 heroes bottom, pushing that tier 2, so they could make sure to defend the tier 1s on the other lanes, knowing that if fight is forced, they have enough heals to delay them to get Slither to move over and Pharaoh to eventually get there. So it's just knowing their heroes' limits, and this is a lineup that I think I've seen these guys play a million times. And I told Hanskin as well last week when I was with him in real life that this is what you guys do best. When you guys run this stuff, you guys are really, really hard to beat. So I'm glad that they're sticking to this kind of a lineup.
So you'll take credit for BMG's success.
Definitely. No, but I think it's a really smart draft. It's the style that fits them the best.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean that's definitely a very true statement. Look at this situation right here. The Wild Hunter, obviously they can spot him with the Bound Eye, but he is magic immune. And that, no doubt, is a saving grace right there for good old Parasite. So, my nuts on that Parasite will be fine. But that was definitely a close call right there. And just getting caught up. They had a Skeleton King, actually. That could have been something. But he did not have a Skeleton King, so no stun to come. Double damage on Madman, though. That's a very dangerous rune for him to have. But I don't know if they're going to be able to make the most of it here. It only has about 10 seconds remaining. But they do have the Geometer's Bane finished. They got 1,800 gold saved up on Madman, but obviously not the biggest deal in the world. In fact, they're going to find, they find Parasite again. And Rhapsody and Madman caught the tail end of that, but clearly combo for the kill. In the meantime, the middle lane, the Wrath of the Pharaoh, yep. It caught the Curiel. I think he was going for Tundra right there.
Yeah,
Just
definitely.
missed.
I mean, it would have been a big deal, but hey, Staff of the Master, it's up on.
That's true.
5 seconds.
That's very true.
And yeah, this time it's definitely gonna be Barracks. Oh no, Swindle.
Jeez. That Barrettle.
Just did nothing.
Yeah, it's like, guys, I just bat blasted them. Wait, none of them took any damage. Good game, Barrier Idol. There goes the Rex right there. Here we go with the follow initiation. Swinamel's going to be picked up. Protected Melody in the background. It's just going to be overwhelming here for Bad Monkey Gaming. Tundra's going to fall. The buyback on to Wretched Hack. She comes back up with the Thunder Scream. Is she going to be able to do enough to fight this off? Probably not. The Corrupted Stop gets locked down. Hack's forced to blink away. Another buyback on a Tundra. GG's already being called, though. It looks like game number 1 is officially going to go to Bad Monkey Gaming right here. Or is it? They're going to call the GG's. I'll even throw one out there as well. Look at old BM here. But in the end, there we go. There it is. It is official now. Game number 1 going to be going to Bad Monkey Gaming here in this best out of 5. Just solid play, man. I mean, we talked about it on Tuesday. BMG is looking really good. They looked really good against Recent Gaming. They looked really good here once again today.
Yeah, and I think mostly this game came down to strategy. We saw Stay Green to go. I feel like they went for this kind of a X-denial, sync esports, whatever they are called right now, strategy where you want to apply pressure, and through pressure gain map control, and through map control gain farm, and through farm eventually win the game with more carries on the other side. Whereas BMG ran, I feel like, what I would call the counter to that kind of a strategy, which is a full-on push. Yeah. You just gather up and push on early. Don't allow the other team to even get to the point where they're able to gank you. So, yeah, just solid drafting, I feel.